Thank you. Can you report on progress and uptake in regard to the casual employment information program you manage, including employment conditions? And has the education for both business and employees on their rights and obligations reduced complaints by casuals? And thank you for attending.
So, is someone able to answer that question? If someone wants to...
Sorry, Sandra, we can't hear you, so we don't know whether you're able to hear us.
Okay.
We heard something.
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yep, got you now. And so, Senator Roberts, could you just repeat that?
Sure. Can you please report on progress and uptake in regard to the casual employment information program you manage, including employment conditions, and has the education of both business and employees on their rights and obligations reduced complaints by casuals?
Would you like me to handle that, Ms Parker? Thank you. It's Kristen Hanna, the Deputy Fair Work Ombudsman for Policy and Communications here. Thank you, Senator. I'll give you an update on how our communication in terms of the casual changes has been progressing, and give you some information in terms of the number of people that we've received and the sorts of feedback and impact that we're seeing from that communication. As you know, we published new content on the 29th of March. We updated our casual employees webpage. We developed a new webpage with information on casual conversions. And between when that was published in April and the 31st of August, it's been viewed 77,000 times, which is quite an extraordinary number. We also published the new casual employee information statement and developed a new homepage for that. And since it was published on the 29th of March to the 31st of April, that's been viewed 1,610 times. 161,000 times. We've done 3 rounds of updates to that document. On the 20th of May, we took some feedback from stakeholders on clarity and made some changes to the document. We did a small change on the 9th of August after a user contacted us and gave us some feedback again on clarity. We did some user testing. And on the 26th of this month, August, we updated the statement again. It's now being translated into 38 languages, and we'll be doing some promotion in language at that time as well. In terms of promotion, we did some promotion via stakeholders in April. We also sent a direct email to our database of 640,000 subscribers. In May, we did a paid digital communications campaign that went over 3 weeks, and that focused on accommodation and food services, employers and employees, retail, healthcare and social assistance. That was focused on Facebook, LinkedIn, maximising Google search and also digital advertising. And that was seen 5.9 million times, which is quite an extraordinary reach. So that's impressions. So that's the number of times the content was displayed on various screens. I've got some information here in terms of breaking that down into how many people looked at it through different channels. Just by way of example, in terms of Facebook, when we look at the Facebook component of that really broad campaign, which is quite a big campaign, we received 380 comments on the content, 1,124 reactions, so that's likes on Facebook, and it was shared 405,000 times, and that's just on Facebook alone. So that's compared to other campaigns, that's a really deep engagement in terms of that content. When the transition period ended, which was the 27th of September, we did another round of communications. On the 17th of September, we did some reminders on our website. On the 20th September, we sent another email to our 640,000 subscribers. And on the 24th of September, we did another round of social media posts. And we boosted those posts so they appeared in people's news feeds again. We don't have any stats back from that campaign. They take a little bit of time to come through. But we're seeing that was very successful. So we're getting lots of engagement in the content, and we're reaching a lot of people. So we're finding that to be very effective. The sorts of comments that we're getting through on social media is that people are finding the content easy to understand, and it's really hitting the mark. And that's what our stakeholders are telling us too.
Thank you very much. Has there been, can you tell us the distribution over time? Was it a rapid engagement early on and then a falling off, or was it a gradual build up, or was it increase and then flattened off? Just roughly.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the stats here. It's pretty consistent, Senator.
Thank you. Could you please report on the number of requests for information and complaints, if any, received in relation to the new casual conversion provisions? And in short, is it working? And if it isn't, then what can be done to fix it?
Senator, we're not seeing a lot of disputes or complaints at this stage, and I wouldn't expect that we would be, because the transition period is just coming to an end. So it's a little bit early to be making any conclusions in terms of that. Also, that would take quite a long time to trickle through to us because there's a range of other dispute mechanisms in terms of resolving those disputes. So the first point of call would be people would need to look at their award or agreement and see what the provisions are to resolve disputes within those provisions. And if there's not a process, then the first point of call is the Fair Work Commission. So there's kind of two steps of processes before disputes would get to us. And as I said, it's very early days.
Okay, thank you. We've been supporting casual workers getting a fair go for a while. What more can the Fair Work Ombudsman do to support casual employees, especially in regard to both understanding the impact of the recent change, improvements in pay and conditions, and to casual conversion? And if this is not violating the conduct of the Senate estimates, are you, in terms of not requesting an opinion, but can you see any pointers to improve industrial relations generally? Because some people go into casual work, both employees and employers, because of the problems with the industrial relations system in this country at the moment.
So, Senator, I'll just respond to that. In terms of how we can assist, I think our job is to continue to review our products and the information that is going to the community. And if we take suggestions on board at any time. So if there's suggestions on how we can get the information out more effectively, obviously we really want to hear it. And we'll keep consulting on that. We'll keep on talking to every stakeholder that we deal with. We'll keep on making sure people are aware that this exists. In terms of the workplace relations framework and improving it, Senator, we can't really comment. It's not a matter for us. The Parliament decides what the legislation is, and we.
Sandra, you've gone mute.
Sorry, Miss Parker, if you can hear us, Miss Parker. You there, Miss Parker? You've gone on mute. We've just lost the audio about 10, 15 seconds ago. Now we've lost your video as well. Are you there, Miss Parker?
Yes, I am.
That's better. We got you. So we only missed about 15 seconds or so. If you wanted to finish that answer.
Yeah, sorry, that we all seem to drop out. So I was saying that we will continue to seek feedback on the advice we provide, the resources we provide. We'll talk to stakeholders, and we're obviously very open to getting feedback on the way, not only the material itself, but that we have on our website, but also the way that we promulgate that material and get to more people. The more people that know about it, the better, obviously. And I did say that in terms of commenting on improving the workplace relations framework, I can't really comment on that as the regulator. It's our role is to regulate the law as it stands, and it is for the Parliament government to determine what that law is.
Senator, if I might assist you, you'll be aware from the passage of the legislation that there is a formal review requirement in relation to the casuals terms within the Fair Work Act. It's due to commence as soon as practicable after the 27th of March next year. But in relation to the questions around casuals and why they take it up and their views of it, earlier, in evidence earlier today, I talked about additional funding to the ABS to undertake further work, particularly in relation to gig. But in addition to that, the ABS has also been funded to undertake further work around casuals and more qualitative work in terms of actually why do people do casual work. So that process will hopefully lead to better information collected by the ABS to make sure we've got a good evidence base for that.
Yeah, I understand your point, Ombudsman, about the Parliament having the responsibility to identify and rectify problems with the industrial relations system. Sometimes, though, Parliament is sitting in a vacuum and doesn't really understand what's going on. And I was critical of the Ombudsman's office with regard to the Hunter Valley casual coal miners, because there were lots of issues flagged there that Parliament should have known about a long time ago, that's all. So I see the Ombudsman's office as a way of collecting those issues. If people come to you with them, it's not your responsibility to do anything about them, but it is, I would see your responsibility. I'm looking to Mr Hare for telling me whether I'm right or wrong, that feedback can come through to the Fair Work Commission and to the Industrial Relations.
Certainly, the Fair Work Ombudsman has a range of information collection tools in terms of whether complaints and the subject matter of complaints, etc. And we certainly, as a department, engage closely with the Fair Work Ombudsman about that information. But the point I was making is that there's also other methods that we're looking at. So in relation to the information we're collecting on casual employees, the intent is we'll collect the information on the extent to which casual employees are converting to permanent employees through ABS data, and also at firm level and individual level, what barriers and incentives there are for that, and the reasons that people work as casual. So that project has started in terms of the work with the ABS, but I'd need to take on notice the likely timing for that information to be available.
Okay. Just a final question, Chair, brief one. Just building on what I was saying a minute ago, Ombudsman, the Fair Work Ombudsman should be there to assist all workers, whatever they do. As you know, we think it's time for a review into the industrial relations system problems that led to abuse of casual coal miners, to some extent in Central Queensland and especially in the Hunter Valley. Are you able to support an initiative that seeks to close the gaps for these affected workers because they're still existing?
Senator, so we're certainly aware of the issues you've raised. I mean, what I would say is that part of the issues we've discussed with the casual coal miners is around their agreements. So I think, look, I'll answer generally, because probably all I can do really is to say that where we see issues, we're very happy to raise them with the department, and we are, as Mr Hare said, we are consulted when there's proposals for new legislation, when there's proposals for amendments. We're consulted on what the impact of that would be. So what would it mean for us as the regulator? What would be the flow on of that legislative amendment, and whether there would be unintended consequences, but also what information we have. So how many complaints do we get in that area? What sort of issues do we see? All of that we would provide. So we're more than happy, obviously, to be part of any of those consultation processes, and we'll provide the department and government with whatever it asks of us in that regard.
Senator
Thank you.
Roberts.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. I was about to ask.